Hey, amazing people. I'm back from my daily live. How are you? I hope you've had an amazing day. I've had a really great day, actually. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you have yours. So, what am I going to talk about today? It was time for me to review lesson 3 of my amazing Thinking into Results program that I did through Proctor Gallagher. And I want to talk about paradigms. They are so important. You know, our paradigms control everything we do and think about ourselves as well. They're deeply buried in our subconscious mind, and they really do influence what we think of ourselves and our results that we get. Now, we had some special worksheets when we went through this program, and I want to read you a quote from Earl Nightingale, who was Bob Proctor's mentor all those years ago, and who eventually Bob Proctor went on to be a colleague and partner with. And I love Earl Nightingale's book. And he says, whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become a reality. And that was Earl Nightingale. And, you know, the paradigms are these sticky little things in our lives that, you know, where we get our results from. So we look at them, and Bob always said you change one or two at a time. You don't try and change all of them because it's just too much. You need to really work on one or two. If you go back to the goals I set for myself that I talked about, I chose two. I chose one for my health, which was improving my sleep, which I did do. Yes, such an amazing thing. It has changed my life dramatically. And the second thing was to publish my book and to finally get it done and not just say I was going to do it one day. And when we're looking at the paradigms, we look at the ones, the negative ones that are not getting us the results we want in life, and we look at how we can change them. So how do you change them? Well, there's two ways that really happens. The first is quite dramatic. It's an emotional impact. And an emotional impact is just something that comes suddenly, it comes out of the blue, it knocks you off your feet, and it changes a belief in you. And often these emotional impacts, not always, but often they are negative. There's something that changes people's perception, like 9/11. That caused a huge and emotional impact in people's lives. It could be, for you, a death of a loved one or an illness. These are big emotional impacts, and they change our subconscious beliefs, and they change the way we act. And it's from our beliefs that we act from, and what our actions do gives us our results. So you can see how this all adds up. The other way to change your paradigm is to do it the way it was put in, by constant spaced repetition. And this is what we really learned about in lesson 3, constant spaced repetition. Bob gave us in the program a template to use as a goal card to write down our goal and to look at it and read it every day, to write it out every single day, because it is the constant spaced repetition that reprograms your beliefs in your subconscious mind. And it also ties in with something called the reticular activating system, the RAS, in your mind or in your brain. The RAS shows you what you feel is important in your life. So it will give you, for example, I used to have a Labrador. And whenever I used to go for a walk, I used to see Labrador dogs everywhere, because my reticular activating system knew that was important to me. We have so much input and data coming into us on a daily basis. Our minds filter out and filter in what is important to us. So that's what the RAS does. So when you're writing out something constantly in your constant space repetition, your reticular activating system in your mind knows it's important to you, and it will look for ways that can help you with this. It will look for opportunities for you to do what you want and what is important to you. So we was encouraged to write our goal card out every single day. In fact, he said, write it out 50 times a day. But our modern technology is so much better than that nowadays. We can actually record our goals in our phones and play them to us. And it's that constant spaced repetition that reprograms the subconscious mind. And I'm keeping saying it to you so it sinks into your subconscious mind. It's really clever how it works. And so you pick 2 things you want to change and you start working on them, and you start the constant space repetition of changing the paradigm, changing the programming in the subconscious mind. Now, Bob had us write out our goals in a specific way. I am. Why I am? You have to believe you're that person now. You're coming from the feeling of the wish fulfilled, as Neville would say. I am so happy and grateful now that it is done, it is fulfilled. You will fulfill your dreams being the person that can do the thing you want to do. So I am so happy and grateful now that. And then you put your goal down. And he encouraged us, Bob encouraged us to always keep our goal card. And Bob always, from the age of 25 till his death, he had his goal cards in his pocket. And what that does is we think in images. So whenever you put your hand in your pocket or you look at it, your wallet, and that goal card's tucked in there, or maybe it's in your purse, girls, you will see that goal card and it triggers an image in your mind and it flashes up. And it's like a little reminder, it's a little ding in your brain. It's like a little notification going off in your brain all the time of what your goal is. And it's, again, the reprogramming, the constant spaced repetition in your mind of where you're going to, that direction you've chose for your life, them improvements that you want to make. It was in a really good lesson. We were starting to go into looking at paradigms and looking at changing them. And it was only lesson 3. This was an amazing program. We learned so much very quickly. And we used to listen to these lessons. We was encouraged to listen to them twice a day for 2 weeks. Constant spaced repetition. You see it all coming together now. And I didn't fully know everything then about the subconscious mind. But I was listening because this man knew what he was talking about. He taught this stuff for over 60 years and he influenced millions and millions of people globally. He worked on every continent in our amazing world. And he impacted so many people's lives with this information. And so you have your goal and you read it every day, you write it every day, you keep it with you every day. Because paradigms are really sticky things. You know, some of those ones that are not serving us have been around a really long time. And I always say, if you was to take your pen, and now I'm a right-handed writer. Okay, I write with my right hand, that's my dominant hand. Changing a paradigm is like changing the hand you write with. For the first few days, you're going to consciously remember you're trying to make a change. And you'll work harder to implement that. So you will deliberately pick up the pen in the left hand and attempt to write with the left hand. And to improve your left-handed writing. But there'll be a few days in, where you automatically go to pick up the pen with your right hand because those programming is so entrenched in our minds. And you know what? Something Bob did. He used to write with his left hand every day. Not because he wanted to be ambidextrous or to write left-handed, but to remind him how tricky these paradigms are, how deeply buried they are in us, and we can consciously make that effort to change them and change the results in our lives, because it is a change in the paradigm that results in a change in behaviour, which is a change in results. I hope you liked today. I will be back tomorrow with something super special. It was the most important thing that Bob said he ever learned in all his years. So join me tomorrow and I'll be talking about the genie in your mind. Much love.